Should the Miami Dolphins sign Calais Campbell in NFL free agency? Plus, Odell Beckham Jr. officially signs pen to paper with the Dolphins. We'll talk about his fit and what it means for Miami in cap purposes. I am Nic Rohloff. This is Dolphins Today. Fun show on tap for you guys. And before we get into the meats and potatoes of today's show, I need you to help me out here and share today's video. I want to make this the largest Dolphins YouTube channel there is, and the best way to do that is sharing it to people who haven't seen the show so they can subscribe and join all the fun. And I'm even giving back. For every share today, I am going to do 1 minute of a walk. So if we get 60 shares on this video, I'm walking for an hour. You guys really control that for me. I will post the results and community tomorrow or tonight, so make sure you're subscribed so you can see that as well. All right, let's get it, because Calais Campbell is a free agent, and we want to explore if Miami should sign the veteran defensive lineman. This is a very experienced free agent still out there, 37 years old, and he's been one of the best defensive linemen in the National Football League over the past 15 years. And when you look at the Dolphins room right now, there's a lot left to be desired for. Losing Christian Wilkins in free agency hurt, but you just simply could not pay him the contract he got from the Las Vegas Raiders. So I'm not flaming Chris Grier or Miami for not matching that. But you're now left with Zach Sealer, Teair Tart, Gallimore, and really the guys behind him aren't that good. And listen, you got to try to find a way to minimize the damage of losing Christian Wilkins. Sealer's good, but I don't think he could really man an interior defensive line room by himself. I'm optimistic for Teair Tart rebounding after a tough year in Houston, but I'd like him as a defensive lineman in rotation or that third guy. And if we're going to be honest here and just call a spade, like this defensive line depth chart is the worst or one of the worst position groups on the entire Dolphins roster. Like, you can make an argument for this one, you can make an argument for interior offensive line, but it's definitely at the bottom of this roster and bottom of this depth chart, and it can be used to get some help to this room. And another reason why I want to talk about this is the great Omar Kelly, who is now back with the Herald reporting for the Dolphins, was asked on Twitter if the Dolphins should make any more moves in free agency. He responded by saying this: yes, Calais Campbell. They need his presence on the defensive line and for leadership. And I think Campbell makes the most sense if you're going to go to the defensive line. There's a couple guys out there. Fletcher Cox is still out there, but I don't think he would come to Miami. It wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility, but he also might be too expensive. Another reason why I like Calais Campbell is that second part that Kelly mentioned, leadership. This is a Walter Payton Man of the Year player. So he is one of the most well-respected guys in the entire NFL for his work in the community and the locker room. But it's not only that. He can perform on the football field, fellas. At age 36, 37 last year for the Falcons, he still put up really good numbers. 6.5 sacks, 10 TFLs. And the part that is the best and most important thing to me, you see that number at the bottom of the screen? 17 games played. He is able to be healthy and stay on the football field, because we know the Dolphins had a lot of injuries last year, both on offense and defense. Campbell, still at age 37, would be able to come in and stay on the field and give you some good productivity on the defensive line. More to break down on Campbell in just a second, but I want to get your thoughts on the intermission. Should Miami sign Calais Campbell? If you believe they should, type S for sign. If you want to pass and go after different positions, type P in the bottom of the comments. All right, let's go more into Calais Campbell, because his PFF grades were even more fantastic when you looked in depth at his productivity, for the Atlanta Falcons. An 80 overall PFF grade. And then this is the part that I want to hit on the most. And I get PFF is not the gospel. You can't take it and just say, oh, this guy's unbelievable. But it definitely adds some context. He was graded out as an 80.2 run stopper. That is really, really good, and that is something that Miami could absolutely use, because that was the best part about having Christian Wilkins, right? Is that he was a absolute dominant run stopper in the middle of that defense, but he can also generate some pressure from the inside, which makes it difficult for quarterbacks to step up in the pocket and let your edges do their job of getting after the quarterback from the perimeter. So you bring in Campbell, he still has a lot of juice, and it would just be a one-year deal. Like, we're not signing him to a multi-year deal, and I think you guys understand that as well. But him coming into this room for 1 year brings the leadership. He still can give you good production, and he wouldn't replace Christian Wilkins. I don't want you guys to think that you get the same productivity from him that you did from C. Wilk. That's not going to happen. But he would at least minimize the loss. And that's really the most important thing to me, because other teams in this division like to run the football. You saw James Cook get more involved with the Buffalo Bills, and obviously the designed run with Josh Allen. Breece Hall for the New York Jets is getting better and better. Ramondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson for the New England Patriots. Like, when it comes to the winner too, and when you play winning football in the postseason in late December, teams make a bigger effort of running the football. So having someone that you can rely on to plug up the interior with Zach Sealer and create a nice little 1-2 punch, I think would benefit Miami quite a bit. So I'm all in on signing Calais Campbell. I don't know if you guys are, but I am sold. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel as well, because we are going to have the latest Miami Dolphins news and rumors on a daily basis. We're at 56,211 current subscribers. The goal is to get to 57,000 by training camp and then get 58K before we get things kicked off in September. So help us out, join the channel, and get daily content surrounding the Miami Dolphins. All right, let's talk about Odell Beckham Jr. now, because he did officially put pen to paper this morning, and it fired me up, and it should fire you up as well. The Dolphins put out some photos of OBJ officially signing. Obviously, he was reported last Friday. Today is Wednesday, so it took a little bit to get him in the 305 into the building for him to sign. Just fired up for OBJ, man. I really am, and I think he's going to be someone that makes a massive impact for this team. And the thing that intrigues me the most is who he chose the Dolphins over in NFL free agency. We'll get to that in just a second, but make sure you get some Dolphins gear. We want to rep the Dolphins in any capacity during the summer, during the winter. I know it gets a little chilly in Miami at times. Not really. It's really nice over there. I'd love to be living in Miami. But get this Dolphins quarter zip today. It's on sale at chatsports.com/DolphinsQZip. I'm a big QZip guy. You can wear it on the golf course. You could wear it out. You could wear it in your house. You could wear it to work. Rep the Dolphins anytime you want. That link is in the description and comments of today's video. One more time, chatsports.com/DolphinsQZip. This is the part I want to touch on when it comes to Odell Beckham Jr., because NFL Insider Ian Rapoport said this on NFL Network yesterday. Odell actually turned down more money elsewhere to be in Miami. This is always where he wanted to be in this offense. And he didn't stop there. He also mentioned a couple teams that were pursuing Odell Beckham Jr. Now, who knows if these two teams actually gave and offered OBJ more money than the Dolphins did, but these two teams were at least trying to get the services of OBJ. The Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs. How massive is it that you not only get Odell Beckham Jr. into your wide receiver room to fill that void at the wide receiver 3 position, but you also prevent your two biggest rivals? I would say I'd consider them your two biggest rivals right now, at least while you're contending in the AFC, from getting him as well with the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs, because I could already see it now. OBJ signs with one of these two teams, and he's going for 80 and a tud against Miami in late November. Now we don't have to worry about that, because he'll be doing that type of stuff for Miami and Mike McDaniel. He'll have a huge impact, folks. The impact's already felt by coming to Miami and joining this offense rather than going to Buffalo or Kansas City. But his addition to this wide receiver room cannot be understated. I am a big fan of Malik Washington, the 6th-round wide receiver out of Virginia, and I thought he was going to be a very good slot player for Miami. I still think he will be, but he won't get as much run as I initially thought he was going to get. But I like Braxton Berrios. And some of these guys, Craycraft, Eazy-E, like, they have upside, sure, but they don't have the productivity levels that OBJ has had in the past. And getting him in this room and allowing him to flourish in one-on-one situations because the defense is paying so much more attention to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Like, you have, I think, the best wide receiver trio in the NFL. Now, you can argue the Chicago Bears with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and the 9th overall pick, Rome Odunze. But I'll take OBJ, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle against anyone in the NFL. And last year in a run-first offense as the second/third option with Mark Andrews being there and Zay Flowers, he still put up good numbers. Like, I want you guys to know that if he put up the same exact numbers that you see in 2023 with the Ravens as he did with the Dolphins, that would be an improvement because you're still going to get stuff from your running backs in the passing game. You're going to get damn near 2,500 yards combined from Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So if you just get 500 to 650 in that range from OBJ, well, that's a wide receiver trio still going for around 3K yards in total. That would be absolutely terrific for Miami. He just adds another element to this offense. The part that I'm most excited for is his red zone threat within the 20 yards because he's a little bit bigger than Waddle and Tyreek Hill, 5'11", good contested catch guy, and he's just going to make this offense so much fun to watch. You have the speed at running back with Jalen Wright, Achane, and Mostert. And then you have a great yards after the catch guy in Jonnu Smith at tight end with those 3 wide receivers. Whew. I tell you what, this offense was number 1 in the NFL last year and struck fear with their speed in opposing defenses. I don't even know what the opposing defense is going to think when they line up against Miami this year. Show your excitement for Odell Beckham Jr. in the 305. I'm certainly fired up if you could not tell. Spam those OBJs for me down in the comment section. All right, that will do it for today's video. Fun show. I think it was a fun show. And if you want more Dolphins content as well and more fun memes and stuff surrounding Miami Dolphins, follow me at Nic_Rohloff. If you follow me on Twitter and spam 305s in my DMs, they are open. I'll give you a follow back.